Hello all, I am making a screencast to help you with your annotations for your short stories. We are going to be annotating each of the short stories that we select, and I've started grading the submissions that I've received, and there seems to be some confusion about how to annotate your story. So I'd like to jump in and help. So right now I'm logged into our Google Classroom as my pretend student account. I am Groot. So this should be the student view. It should be what you see. I'm going to the classwork tab and my assignment of the story of an hour, which is due today. And I see that I'm supposed to annotate my story looking for imagery, symbols, metaphors, etc., etc., etc. And I have to complete them today. And the annotations have to be completed for me to receive credit for the activity that I turn in on Thursday. So this assignment is connected to your Thursday activity. It's showing that you've read deeply before you start doing an activity with the short story. So I'm going to click on the Google Doc that's right here because it's provided for me to do the annotations. And it will open up in a Google document. And it has my name at the top and then the name of the assignment. And I can just start annotating. So as I'm reading the story, I see the title is The Story of an Hour. You always want to pay attention to the title of a story. So I'm going to highlight this because, okay, this means that probably everything happens in an hour. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and start reading. Knowing that Mrs. Mallard was afflicted with heart trouble, great care was taken to break to her as gently as possible the news of her husband's death. Okay, so Mrs. Mallard, this is interesting to me because the character is not addressed by her actual name. Oops, I want to highlight. She's addressed by her married name. Okay, that's my comment. Okay. Oh, heart trouble is interesting to me. Okay, so usually a heart symbolizes love, so the fact that she suffers from heart trouble could point to an unhappy marriage. Now notice that I'm not just highlighting heart trouble and saying that it's a symbol or symbolic or it's a metaphor or it's foreshadowing. I am trying to indicate why it's important. What is the connection to it? Okay. And what you might want to do, short stories are short for a reason, so you may actually want to read the story once and then annotate it the second time so you know everything that's going on in the story. And once you've read it through once, then you can more easily recognize symbols because you know symbols and metaphors and foreshadowing, especially foreshadowing, because you know what's going to happen. You might not catch foreshadowing because you don't know the direction that the story's headed. Okay. So I'm going to do just a little bit more annotating. I'm not going to annotate the whole story because we're going to discuss the story on Wednesday in our Zoom. And anything that I annotate, you can't annotate. And so I don't want to take those opportunities from you. So I'm going to read this next paragraph here. It was her sister Josephine who told her, in broken sentences, veiled hints that revealed in half concealing. Her husband's friend Richards was there too, near her. It was he who had been in the newspaper office when intelligence of the railroad disaster was received. That Brentley Mallard's name leading the list of killed. He had only taken the time to assure himself of its truth by a second telegram and had hastened to forestall any less careful, less tender friend in bearing the sad message. Okay, so this guy has run over to their house to tell the bad news. She wept at once with sudden wild abandonment in her sister's arms. Storm of grief had passed itself. She went away to her room alone. She would have no one follow. Okay. So she wanted to be alone. We have storm of grief. This is an image here. No, I keep doing the text change instead of the highlight. You guys are probably better at that part than me. Image of storm. So I'm going to be looking to see if there is weather imagery throughout the story. And since we have an image of a storm, we'll see if the weather imagery goes all the way through and what the author is doing in using that weather imagery. Okay, so hopefully this gives you an idea. You can highlight things that you think are significant, put why you think they're significant, if it's a symbol or a metaphor, what could it mean, an allusion, what does it allude to. Going through and just highlighting things is not annotating, and even highlighting something and saying that it's a symbol is still not annotating. You need to say why it's important, okay? If you have any questions, of course, let me know, and I will be happy to help you out. When you're finished with your annotation, you should be able to go up here on the right and turn it in, and then I will receive it, and I can check it and grade it and send it back to you. All right, happy annotating. I hope you enjoy this story, and I will talk to you soon.